We're seeing the Chinese government pushing EVs into rural areas. What's behind this timing?
So in China, we're seeing the autos market growth slowing, and in the EV sector, it has been doing really well last year. But coming into 2023, growth is also slowing. So the Chinese government is trying to find the next driver for the sector, and also to get more of these people living in small towns in China to get into these clean cars that have less emissions.
I thought China had the world's largest clean car market, so I guess that doesn't necessarily apply to small towns being able to adopt EVs as fast as the government would like.
Yeah, China has been doing really well in pushing EVs in general. And actually, in small towns, the adoption rate is still relatively high compared to the rest of the world. It's about 20%. Compared to the big cities, it's still low. In big cities, there's about 40% of new car sales made of EVs. In small towns in China, they're facing a lot of the same challenges in the rest of the world. So pricing of some of these models are still quite high, as well as there's the lack of charging infrastructure, and the dealerships for selling EVs are just not there to help customers to pick out the models that suit them. And lastly, a lot of the models that we find in urban areas, like really sleek sedans with a lot of tech features, they're not the models that suit rural customers really well. They need more rugged, bigger models like vans and light trucks to help them transport goods or work tools. So I think the Chinese government is pushing for car makers to come up with more models to suit these customers.
So what do rural customers then want when they're looking for an EV?
Do you have any problem with that?
Yeah, so as I said before, they really need bigger models than what we've seen selling really well in the big cities. So for a story that I worked on about this drive of EVs in rural areas, there's a ride-sharing driver who transports customers between the county that he lives in to a neighboring manufacturing hub. He really needs a big van that seats at least 7 people, and for a pricing about 200,000 yuan. But for what he needs right now, the pricing is still too high in some of the other electric van models, which can go at least 300,000 yuan. So once the pricing of more models come down, as well as more light truck and van models come online, I think EVs will take off in the rural areas.